Chad Niels and the Electric Eel. It was a beautiful summer's day, and the Chad Niels HQ was standing as tall and proud as ever. But inside, the staff were facing a problem. A mysterious package had arrived that morning, and no one had quite any idea what to do about it. Usually, packages were carefully logged in a database before they got to the HQ, so the staff knew what packages would be arriving that day. But this one was not logged at all. What could be inside? "Maybe we should just open it," suggested one worker. "No," replied another. "What if it's something dangerous? We should just throw it out. But it could be something important." "Well, I think there's really only one thing we can do then. We'll have to take this to the bosses." "Take it up to the top? Are you sure we need to do that for an issue as small as this?" "I don't see any other solution, but who's going to be the one to go up and ask?" "I don't mind going up. Leave it to me." And so, the brave Chad Niels worker headed up to the top of Chad Niels HQ to ask his bosses what should be done about the mysterious package. It wasn't long until the brave worker had arrived at the door to his boss's office. He took a deep breath and stepped in. Inside the room sat one of his bosses, asleep on the center chair. It was the great Anthony Escott. Now, because he was asleep, the worker wasn't sure of what he should do. So he placed the package down on the floor and decided he should walk over and try to wake his boss up. "Sir, wake up. We have a problem," the brave worker asked. "Huh? What's going on?" said Anthony, awaking from his slumber. "A strange package arrived, and we just don't know what to do with it." "Well, what's the problem?" asked Anthony. "Let's just open it." And so, without hesitation, Anthony opened up the package, and inside was an electric eel. Before either Anthony or the worker could react, the eel leapt out and electrocuted the worker. Anthony screamed out in terror and ran out down the hallway with the eel in hot pursuit. Anthony made it to the lunch lounge hoping to find help. His luscious looks flowed through the air as he ran. Anthony burst into the lounge. "Everyone, you have to help! There's an electric eel trying to kill everyone!" he shouted. Sitting in the lounge, along with various other workers, were the two other bosses of the Chad Niels Corporation, Little Jake and Jedwardo. "An electric eel? What the hell are you talking about?" said Jedwardo. Just then, the eel burst through the wall, and everyone in the room was sent into a state of hysteria. The eel was zapping people left and right. It was on an unstoppable rampage. "What do we do?" cried Anthony. "We've got to save our employees." "Forget that. We can't do anything to save them. We gotta save ourselves. Let's book it the heck out of here," said Jedwardo. And so the Chad Niels gang ran as fast as they could. They ran past the iconic Chad Niels HQ cactus and towards the elevator. They made it and headed down. "What are we going to do about this electric eel then?" asked Little Jake. "I'm thinking we head down to the Chad Niels weapons closet and select some Chad Niels weapons to beat this eel," said Anthony. "That sounds like a bomb-ass idea," said Jedwardo, with a beautiful glint in his perfect eye. And so the gang went to the Chad Niels weapons room and had a look around. "There's nothing in here," said Jedwardo. "Oh yeah, I forgot. It all got cleared out by order of the regulation of Chad Niels Weapons Act of 2022, carried out by the secret government," said Little Jake. "Wait, hold on," said Anthony from the other side of the room. "They didn't take everything. We still have these." Before Anthony stood a bass, 2 guitars, and a drum set. "We can use the power of rock and roll to beat this electric eel to kingdom come!" exclaimed Anthony. The boys were ecstatic with the discovery. Little Jake and Anthony jumped for joy, while Jedwardo did his classic Jedwardo gig, which involved putting his left leg forward and dislocating his right leg so that it bent backwards the wrong way, and then putting his hands in the air. But there was a problem. There were 4 instruments and only 3 beautiful young boys to play them. "Who's going to play drums?" asked little Jake. "Perhaps I can be of help," came a voice from behind.
Ringo Starr?
The boys all said in collective wonder.
"That's right, lads. I heard you needed a drummer. Mind if I step in?" he said.
Happiness sprang back onto the faces of the Chad Niels boys. They had the creator of the hit song, "You're Beautiful, You're 16, and You're Mine," as their drummer. They were ready to kick the Electric Eel's ass with the power of music, so they headed upstairs with their instruments to defeat him. When the gang made it to the top of the HQ, the eel was still wreaking havoc. Bodies lay around the room. It was time to put an end to this eel once and for all. The menacing eel floated in the air, ready to strike the courageous quartet. "You're going down through the power of rock, eel!" shouted Anthony. And so the 4 of them let out the most glorious songs the human ears had ever seen. The amount of power that was in that office building was immeasurable. The eel was done for. The power of the tune was too much for it to handle, because, simply put, their music was electric. And so, there you have it. The Chad Niels boys defeated the eel, and all was well. But I'm sure you're asking yourself, just what were the songs that they played that were so powerful? Well, I'm happy to say that you can listen to those very songs that they performed that day on the new Chad Niels album, which is coming soon. Listen to it and hear the songs that sent that dastardly eel down to hell. Well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the story because this is the end now. Well, there is one more thing that may be on your mind, and that's the question of, who sent the package containing the eel? Well, I'll leave that with you to theorize. Perhaps you will find an answer in the album. Anyways, good night.